Good afternoon, YouTube. So it is Sunday. I'm going to do all my maintenance stuff, and then I am going to go ahead and cut my yard. These yards are still pretty green, even though we've been in a drought for over a month. But for mine specifically, I'll post a picture. Normally, if I walk over there and I show you guys from that side, that's like its good angle. But my yard's it's come a long way from especially where it used to be to where it is now. But it's pretty much taken me all season to get to where it is now. And then a couple of my videos ago, or like a month ago, I'm sure by now I already posted it, but I added the fresh pine straw. It's been about a month, maybe 5 or 6 weeks, and you can see that pine straw still looks pretty fresh. And again, that's why you want to spend the extra couple dollars to get high quality pine straw from a nursery and not from one of those big store boxes like Lowe's or Home Depot. But yeah, my yard's come a long way. I did apply Spectacle Flow already. I was going to do like a split application, but I got my measurements way wrong and I went pretty heavy my first application. So I'm just gonna do the one application for this year, and then pretty much I'll just wait till next year to do that second application and whatnot. But anyways, I'm gonna service the property and then we'll get to it. So I guess in this video we can kind of talk over what was it like at the beginning of the season. I put like my 3 personal goals and pretty much what I wanted to accomplish for this season, and I could kind of go over it so you guys can see how much progress I made. I remember the my number one goal for this year was to pretty much pay off all my credit card debt. And I believe at the beginning of the season I probably had like if I were to guess, maybe anywhere from like $22,000 to $25,000 worth of credit card debt, and it was just from like from business expenses, or if one of my rental properties broke, I would just put it on the credit card, and it just got out of hand, and that's why it was a main focus for me for this year, because I sat down and I pretty much went over all my interest rates, or how much I was paying just on the interest alone, and I was paying close to like $600 or $700 just on the interest alone. And I'm like, yo, like that's pretty much a car note right there. So once I saw that, and I pretty much just told myself like I need to get this under control. So I'm sure by the time this video goes out, I'll probably be more advanced. So these numbers might be off, but I'll make sure to like put a note or something of where I'm really at. But right now, on credit card debt, from like 25,000, I've dropped it down to like 13,000. And then I don't think I'll be able to pay the rest off this year. We'll see. If I'm really aggressive, I could. But with only having like a couple more months of the growing season, and then then it's fall season. But in my area, there's not really, even though we have a lot of trees or a lot of leaves and trees, I typically don't get that many calls. Pretty much like the leaf cleanups that we do are just from existing clients. And then pretty much I just tell them when they sign up, like, oh, hey, like we keep working up till November. And pretty much we switch over to mulching leaves and they're okay with it. But it was more like, I don't know how to say it. It feels like it was more like I set my own terms and they're like okay with it. So I'm sure if it was up to them, they'd be like, oh, just cut our grass until it stops growing, which is typically late September or October, middle October. It honestly just depends on the temperature, and obviously we're getting rain or not. But first goal, I guess was a fail. I guess thumbs down for that, because I didn't reach that goal, which my main goal was to pay off all my credit card debt, and I did take a big chunk of it off. Maybe by the time I'm editing this video, I did pay everything off. We'll see, but as of right now, I didn't. And if I did, then that means I just went really aggressive the next couple months that we have in the season and paid it off, and no more paying high interest rates. But right now, what the one thing I'm doing, because obviously, like every month I have like business expenses. But right now, even if it's like 3, 4, 5,000, I'm just paying it off completely. That way, I don't fall back to the same trap over and over again. Does it hurt? Yes. It hurts to like pay off like a credit card that's like $4,000 or $5,000 right off the bat, but it needs to be done because that's how I ended up in this situation in the first place. So she's all done. So I switched the blades on both mowers, and then like I said a couple of videos ago, I do have the shoe blocker. So right now the front yard isn't too bad, so it's not really gonna make a difference, but I'll make a video where it's just like the quick shoot and mulching leaves. I think the backyard would be pretty good, but I would have to use the 36, and the 36 doesn't, I mean, it does a decent job, but I would want to use the 52. Into a spider web. These spider webs are like everywhere, but you can see all these leaves that are falling down. But yeah, so my main goal I wasn't able to accomplish. Maybe hopefully in a couple months when this video is up, I did accomplish at least one. Second goal was to buy my wife a new SUV. We do need like a full-size SUV with the baby, but as you can see, we're still using the Hyundai. So like I said, she's had this car for like 10 years, so I need to upgrade her. But again, financially it doesn't make sense to do it, and that's why I haven't done it. I have a good credit score because I have lowered my debt to income. Whatever I think at this point, like whatever I apply for, I think I would qualify for, but I got a plan, and I got to stick to it. So maybe next year, I'm sure next year I'll make another video of my 3 goals, and it'll probably be the exact same goals as this year. And then lastly, my last goal was to just keep growing as a business. And when that video went out, I had like around like 50 clients. We're at like 70. So I think come next year, we should easily get to like 100 to like 110. But pretty much I'd be happy with like anywhere from like 90 to 100. So we could just say 100. If we get like 100 like solid clients where we're doing 50 a week, I'd be happy with that. So essentially, I guess the only goal that I really accomplished was to keep growing, but I feel like that's a given. Like I knew my business was gonna keep growing, just by doing what I know I'm supposed to do is be reliable, be fair with my prices, be honest, and just really not try to take advantage of any of my clients. Am I disappointed in myself or in these results? Not necessarily, because at the end of the day, like we only got a couple more months of the season. I've set myself up for success for winter. So for 3 months, for 3 or 4 months, I switch over to just once a month, and that's pretty much just to like blow their driveways, mulch up their leaves, get in, get out, and we're just gonna be taking it real easy. So for those 3 or 4 months, like I have a X amount of money in my savings, which is more than enough for us to kind of like get through, and we'll be able to take vacations, we'll be able to order takeout here and there, or go on a mini vacation here and there. Not ball out by any means, but I'm not worried or stressed out about winter. Last year during, I want to say, January and February. Those 2 months were real rough for me because I just had a lot of expenses during winter, and pretty much I kind of like blew through most of my savings. This year, that's not going to happen because I really don't need anything. The only thing that I'm thinking of doing during winter is upgrading my axles or the weight on my trailer, fix a few things here and there for next year, move some things around, but nothing like drastically like the year before where, I bought the 36 and then I bought the truck. I bought a couple weed eaters or something like that. I got the trailer. So, I mean, I had like probably like $35,000 worth of expenses last year. And, and some of that rolled into the credit card debt. But no, it's just progress, Overall, I'm happy with, how the season's, where we ended in the season or where we're ending in the season. Next year, it's going to get even better. And then, like I said in my other videos, the first few years are rough when you start off because you really don't see a lot of that money that you are bringing in, you reinvest back into your business, which pretty much eats all of your profit or all of the money that's coming your way. And again, that's why a lot of us juggle our full-time job with this, and then you get to the point where I'm at, where this was my second year going full-time, and even that itself is a blessing, where I was able to provide for my family, pay all the bills, unexpected expenses I was able to take care of, put a roof over our head, buy the essentials, and not really worry about it, I haven't really been stressing out about that. Just from doing this, from when you get down to the bottom, just from cutting grass, and that's kind of crazy. Still making more than what I used to. Not where I want to be, obviously, but you see progress year and year and year after year, and it just gets easier. It's just those first couple of years that it's a little tough. It's a little you get a little bummed out, discouraged, you want to throw in the towel. But I'm a prime example. Again, I came from zero experience. I knew nothing about this industry. Now I know a few things, but I still have a long way to go. And again, this is only year 2 of me going full time. 4 years in business, but technically speaking, like, this is just my second year that I've been doing this full time. But like I said before, there's money to be made in lawn care, and if you're thinking about doing that, even earlier I was kind of just talking to myself how, like, maybe some people look down upon us, and they're like, oh, you want to make sure you go to school so that you don't end up like them or whatever. And if we compare numbers, they'll be shocked how much you can make in this industry or how much we're making. But like always, like, subscribe.